Back with the next example. So we're going to do some examples from economics, and in this case we are going to have to do a little setup. We've got to define some terms that we haven't seen before. So we're going to define R of X as the revenue derived from X units. We're going to define C of X as the cost from X units, and we're going to define the profit for X units as the revenue minus the cost. All right. So what do we know about maximum profit? Well, we know that maximum profit has to occur when P of X equals 0. I said that wrong. The derivative of P is equal to 0. We're talking critical points here. Could have endpoints, but since our endpoints in a situation like this, 0 less or equal to X less or equal to some infinite number, obviously you're not going to have max profit at 0 unless you have a really, really bad business model, and then of course you can't. There's no maximum number of units you can make. So we will double check to make sure that it's a maximum, not a minimum, but we're going to assume that that maximum will have to occur if it occurs at a critical point. So let's think about the derivative of profit. Well, P prime of X equals, well, since P of X equals R of X minus C of X, we can conclude that using the difference rule, the derivative of profit is equal to the derivative of revenue minus the derivative of cost. And if I set that equal to 0, we discover that the maximum profit will occur when these two quantities are equal. So let's talk about these quantities. The rate of change of revenue with respect to X is called the marginal revenue. The rate of change of cost with respect to X is called the marginal cost. And one way to think about these is what happens at the margins. So for example, if I am making 100 units per week, what happens if I increase to 101? This is where we often look at the idea of marginals, is we say, well, look, I want to increase my production. What's going to happen? What's my rate of change to go from 100 to 101? What does it do to my revenue? What does it do to my cost? And we'll come back and we'll talk about that a little bit more. And then, of course, the rate of change of profit with respect to units is called marginal profit. All right, so let's